Let's talk about that Ozark episode.
Right.
That was amazing. Um,
It's a brilliant
Ruth,
show. But
sleep is the cousin
the,
of death.
the timeless themes, the timeless themes strike again. It
Okay,
never fails.
for the people who haven't seen it, what was it? Season 4, episode 8 of Ozark was entitled "Sleep is the cousin of death,"
Cousin of death.
and throughout the episode, Ruth was bumping Illmatic. I want to
Yeah.
say "One Time for Your Mind" got played, New York State of Mind,
Yeah.
Life's a Bitch. I
Right.
feel like it was another one that I'm missing. Represent was
Represent.
played.
Yeah.
And so at the beginning of the episode, they were going over, she was kind of bouncing off classic albums with her cousin, and they were naming like the first 2 or 3 songs of the album or whatever. Cool little game. Anyway, I hit Coop up, man. I was like, and I don't want to rehash these conversations because y'all seem very adamant about how you feel about it was written, but it's just something emotional about Illmatic
There we go.
that it was written. It's a quality that it was written. The songs don't have, and it's not about the rapping. Because on the technical level, yes, Nas probably is a better lyricist on It Was Written than he was on Illmatic. He's probably rapping better on It Was Written than he was on Illmatic, but it's just it's an intangible that Illmatic has that I can't even really explain that pushes it over. Not only It Was Written, but a lot of all-time great albums.
It's the greatest rap album of all time. You're seeing some
I'm
of the
getting
evidence
there.
why the timeless themes apply everywhere. You can take a character of a young white woman who was raised in a trailer park off the lake in Missouri, and somehow, some way, the themes that are on Illmatic are relatable
You can
to each
appreciate good
other.
music no matter what walk of life you are. And I
Yeah.
think that, again, I don't want to isolate any hip hop fans in some of these discussions we have, but you know good music when you hear it. And I think that even when we talk about Eminem fans, a lot of Eminem fans who were brought into hip hop because of him, they explored once they got in and realized, yo, there's a lot of greatness out here. Those are
Mhm.
the different fans than the Eminem fans who came from Eminem and only listened to Eminem and D12 and G Unit or whatever. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Respectfully. But
Right.
yes, when you hear Illmatic, you understand, okay, shit is different.
Shit is different.
And it's not about technicals, not about technicalities. Blue Collar Hustler says they wanted to use Memory Lane but couldn't. Okay. I'm sure there was a lot
And
of publishing issues going on, especially with the samples. But I felt fulfilled even with just the 4 songs that they used.
well, also this, and I want people to understand this too. Whatever you feel about It Was Written, there's nobody that's about to call Nas or the makers of It Was Written to try to ask to use songs for that, to do a whole episode about a series, quite frankly, that is as popular and as large as this series. Like, this isn't like some small, like, rinky dink series going on. Like, their lead actor is somebody who literally has been in Hollywood for the last, what, 30
Yeah.
years? And is a major player. Like, they're a serious big time show. Like, that's the type of weight that Illmatic has in the sphere and the legacy of music. Like the legend of Nas is heavy and shrouded in Illmatic, and this is some of those. This is some of the proof about why it's worth it, though,
Oh,
because it's the timeless
definitely.
thing again.
And
Because
I
you
was
can
gonna
put
ask you, I was gonna be like, yo, what other album could someone actually do an episode themed around like this?
they can't, because it's the greatest rap album of all time, and I keep saying the separation is the themes.
I
It's the
could
classic
see
themes.
I could
Not,
see Only Built for Cuban Links, right? I
no,
could
I couldn't even see
see
that. It'd have to
I
be a
could see
crime
The
movie.
Chronic.
It'd have to be a crime show. It'd have to be a crime show. That would have to be a
Yeah.
West Coast show. That's not. See, that's what I mean. You couldn't just throw it in there. It would have to get centered down around something. Like, if you were
You're
to play the
right.
Purple Tech, it'd have to be a crime story. If you were to play the Chronic, it can be some West Coast shit. That's why I keep bringing up. No, no, no. This white girl from Missouri goes to Chicago, but she's playing Illmatic.
Well,
The
see, the
theme,
thing
the
is,
time. go everywhere.
I think the deeper part of it is the fact that she just lost her cousin, and the deep emotion of those records while she's listening to it, just the anger, frustration, and the sense of loss, and how all of that loops into, like you said, those classic themes of Illmatic, life's a bitch and then you die, the lines in New York State of Mind, and represent, and how they were able to use that as more of a vibrant piece, but still having that menacing portrayal there. It just gives an
Hey,
album like that just a whole new life, in a sense where it's like it's just incomparable to a lot of albums, but especially It Was Written.
when when One Time for Your Mind came on, I was like, man, that shit sounds fucking good. That's the worst song on this album.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that too.
Yeah, that's
I was
crazy.
thinking that too. I was like, yeah, that's
Isn't it a whole vibe when it
yeah.
comes on and you're like, this is the worst song on this album. It's the greatest rap album of all time. Right.
You
Yeah,
know, greatest
like
rap
that.
album of all time.
It is.
I'm getting there. I've always said Aquemini is the best hip hop album I've ever heard.
I'm sliding the Quimini down, Mike. It's not aging well. I'm just being honest.
Okay,
I love it.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with you saying that
It's not
because
aging well. It's not aging well.
okay.
Not like
I've
other
always
classics.
had It Takes a Nation of Billions to Hold Us Back.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Equimini is not aging like It Takes a Nation. It's not.
The other one that I've had in those spots is Doggy Style, Only Built for Cuban Links,
Yep. Yep.
and yeah,
All you're naming are right there. Those are all the
yeah.
albums that are right there.
And you know what? One of my personal favorites, Death Certificate, is vicious. That's another one of those albums that has such timeless themes and sentiments, and
Yes.
it ends with no Vaseline. And it didn't even need no Vaseline on there, to be honest. It could have
No,
went off with Us. Like it could have.
that was one of those I'm the greatest rapper alive moments. And here's evidence.
Yeah,
Listen to this
man.
classic album. But watch me go ahead and fuck my old group up for life before I go.
And I just dropped like the greatest diss record ever. Like I'm totally confident in the fact that No Vaseline is the greatest diss record ever in hip hop.
We're just talking like if we're stripping things down, kind of like okay. So I always said it's like well, if you just strip all things down, like Allen Iverson probably pound for pound, or Isaiah Thomas is better than anybody who ever lived pound for pound. If you strip it down, that's kind of what No Vaseline has as a diss record. It's like well, if you just strip it down, that's the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay Short says Nas is top 10 without Illmatic? That's a good question. I never heard that.
After this run, yes. Yeah.
I can't imagine Nas without Illmatic. I'm trying to close my eyes and picture it.
Like, the legacy is shrouded in the mystery of the man in the album and the like lyrical prodigy brainchild who made the album. So it's like it's hard to imagine it or envision it. But listen to the guy that's rapping on It Was Written. It's like, yeah. It was written, you know. Lost Tapes, Stillmatic, Godson, Magic, KD1.
Jay Short says that they could have done an episode on the College Dropout. I could see that.
It's possible.
But yeah, man, it's something deep and emotional about Illmatic that it has a character that's unexplainable that It Was Written just doesn't have. It's one of those things, man, again, when we try to articulate greatness in hip hop, it's an intangible thing. And I think that's kind of like what we go on with our chart. I know a lot of people ask, like, what's the intangibles? But when you look at Illmatic and pretty much anything else, but let's look at Illmatic and It Was Written. From a skill set wise, he's clearly a better rapper on It Was Written. Mm-hmm. He has the hit song on It Was Written. It Was Written did the number.
Better hook writer too.
Better hook writer. Mm-hmm. I think the production is far apart, but I don't think the quote unquote beats are far apart. They're two different things.
Yep, the production is far apart. The beats are not far apart. No, the beats on there still slap. Mm-hmm.
Those songs on Illmatic are just so strong, man.
It doesn't feel the same when you're hearing him rap on New York State of Mind. You're hearing the words and the thoughts of a kid that sounds paranoid and trapped in the projects, but hopeful that he can get out. If you're listening to that between the ages of 12 to 17, how the fuck can you not relate?
And the second song He's on like, I woke up early on my born day. I'm 20. It's a blessing. The lessons of adolescence keeps my body now refreshing. My physical frame is celebrated because I made it. Like,
Yeah.
I again, you got better rhyme schemes and themes, and I gave you power and stuff on It Was Written, but you don't have those kind of emotions on It Was Written like that.
New York State of Mind, Life's a Bitch and the World Is Yours is better than everything on It Was Written.
Yeah.
Okay. End of
Yeah.
story. End of
I
fucking
would venture to say that It Ain't Hard to Tell is too.
So I'm saying we can just start off with the start of the album. We can go to the first 3 songs and show me where that happens when It Was Written. It doesn't.
Yeah.
So next. But it doesn't happen on any other rap album either.
Exactly. I mean, we're not being that hard. It's just
I
what
think
it is.
that's a better start to even Follow the Leader. Like, I think that's a better start than Follow the Leader. Like, I would take New York State of Mind over Follow the Leader. I would take Life's a Bitch over Microphone Fiend. Mm-hmm. And I would take The World Is Yours over Lyrics of Fury.
I might disagree with you on the Microphone Fiend thing, but
maybe that might be my tie, because you know how I feel about Microphone Fiend. That might be a tie. Life's a Bitch, Microphone Fiend. But New York State of Mind's better than Follow the Leader, and The World Is Yours is better than Lyrics of Fury. Just inherently. Maybe not lyrically, but inherently, yes.
007 says to take away Illmatic, and It Was Written, and that alone blows a hole through 90%. Hold on one second. This chat keeps moving. All right. 007 says, take away Illmatic, you have It Was Written, and that alone blows a hole through 95% of the albums in comparison. And then he follows up with Godson, Stillmatic, Magic, etc. Also, so go back, and it's better than Reasonable Doubt. Also going back, it's better than Reasonable Doubt.
I've always told you that I thought Reasonable Doubt and It Was Written were comparable, but I gave the slight edge to Reasonable Doubt about the overall effect. But I've always told you, the MCing on It Was Written is better. Well, the beats on It Was Written is better. It's just Jay did something special with Reasonable Doubt. Very comparable.
You think the beats are better? You think the beats on It Was Written is better than Reasonable Doubt? I think I disagree with that.
Name your favorite beat on Reasonable Doubt.
I would say The Evils.
Okay.
Then you got Dead Presidents. Then you got Can I Live. You got Can't Knock the Hustle. These are some dope beats. Politics as usual.
I don't love those beats like you do. I love The Evils. I love Feeling It. I love Politics as usual. I would quibble with you. The Message, the Setup, Live Nigga Rap, Affirmative Action.
I think Live Nigga Rap might be my favorite beat on It Was Written. Either that or Shootouts.
I feel that way about the Setup, but our favorite beats on there are Havoc beats. You like Live Nigga Rap. I like the Setup.
Yeah, I like the Setup too. I like Suspect.
No, beat-wise, it's comparable. I just think the beats on It Was Written are slightly better than the beats on Reasonable Doubt, because Reasonable Doubt has some beats on there that are suspect that It Was Written doesn't have, like Cashmere Thoughts, like Coming of Age.
Cashmere Thoughts just sounds older, and I think that Coming of Age sounds like possibly the first song ever made on that album.
Hey, they got released about a week apart. We just got to call it like I see it. There are some suspect beats that are on Reasonable Doubt. It's not on It Was Written. Mic performance-wise,
so?
and this is what I've always told people about Jay. Jay's best lyrical performance isn't going to beat Nas's best lyrical performance, and this is the proof. It Was Written lyrically is still stronger than Reasonable Doubt, even though the words on Reasonable Doubt are more important to you.
I like the beat for Regrets. You know what? I think I like every beat.
I like Regrets.
I think I like every beat on Reasonable Doubt over Nas's Coming. I hate that beat, man.
You hate that Dre beat, don't you?
I hate it. It's very bad.
Silent Murder's dope too. No, beat-wise I think it's comparable. But here's where I be telling people this. It's like, well, in 1996, Nas is able to write stories like The Setup and Shootouts and do songs like I Gave You Power and The Message. Do you hear that on Reasonable Doubt outside of The Evils or Dead Presidents?
Now, lyrically, I think Nas has always been a step ahead. And I think when you sit there and listen to The Blueprint and Stillmatic, he's clearly a better lyricist. Whereas some of those songs, in my opinion, on The Blueprint are just much better songs than the stuff on Stillmatic. But if we talking about the actual lyricists, it's really not close.
The prime example of it is actually track number 6 on both of the respective albums. That would be Rewind and You Don't Know. You Don't Know is the better record. Rewind is the more memorable mic performance.
Is it a more memorable mic performance?
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is. In
know.
terms of the actual performance on the mic of what the MC did. See, I said, you're talking about the song. You don't know it's a more memorable song. The mic performance on Rewind is more memorable than what Jay did on You Don't Know. Because what's the memorable
Okay.
mic performance about it? Nas told the
I
story
am a
backwards.
hustler, baby. I said water to a well, but I feel you. When
No.
he
So you're talking about the end of the song. That's 4 bars. What Nas did, the entirety of the song is a better mic performance than those bars, correct?
I will not lose.
Right. Yeah. Hold on. Those were infamous last words in that battle.
Infamous last words.